Welcome back, dweebs, to another episode of the Weekly Dweeb. With me, as always, is my good friend Kev. Kev, how are we today? How are we doing, buddy?
I am a shell of myself, James. Now, that might be because I am just so immersed into marathon lore that I no
Down the
longer
rabbit hole.
feel like myself. I feel like I'm some sort of digitalized consciousness that is just getting
You're a
to
shell.
kick its own shell to run around and loot. I'm having a good time, James. I tell you what, I didn't get to play as much marathon over the server slam as I wanted to, but I still played a lot of it. I didn't get as much sleep as I ought to have either. How about
Yes,
you?
that's
How
your
was it
number
for
one
you?
issue. I got 3.5 hours in, 3.5 hours in on Thursday opening night, and then I was gone all weekend. And as I told you pre-show, I thought it went till 10 p.m. tonight, so I was hoping to play it again tonight. I was hoping to get some solos in, but it was actually 10 a.m., so I missed. I got my one night in, and that's all I'll get, and that's okay. Squatted up with two of my buddies, so that was no solos. We were full squad the whole time. So I'm gonna give it to you first. What are your initial thoughts? And we can go from there. Kev is our resident extraction shooter guru, as he plays a lot more Arc than I do. I play Arc very sparingly with a couple buddies, and am no good. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing ever, other than I just grab little pieces of trash out of every drawer I find and run for my life most of the time. So, Kev, I'm going to leave it open. What were your initial thoughts on the marathon server slam that we both participated in over the last 4 days?
Yeah, I had a good time with it. Now, I will clarify that while I am our resident extraction shooter expert, I would not fall under the expert category for
I didn't say
anybody who's
expert
ever
in
played
expert in
Tarkov.
on this channel, which is loosely defined. There is no
Yeah.
definition.
So yeah, I am not maybe the most knowledgeable person when it comes to this genre, but I have had a ton of fun playing Arc Raiders. It's currently my main game that I'm playing. And so I was looking forward to Marathon because going into it, I knew it was first person, which to me on its own just lends itself to being more PvP aggressive, because I think the vast majority of first person shooters, even if they're team based, like your instinct, you're in there to hunt, right? Like if you're
Yep.
playing a first person game with a gun, probably spending most of your time in that game shooting stuff. So I expected a much different dynamic from Arc Raiders, where we've talked about this off of the show before, James, but you have what people are now starting to call Care Bear lobbies in Arc Raiders, where it's a bunch of solo players, but they're running around in a Congo line of 10 people, all playing instruments and dancing together, doing all kinds of stuff. So I knew that this would not be that. So I came into Marathon expecting shoot on site, whoever you're going to work with. There's not going to be any friendliness going on. There's not going to be the same PvE aspect, because where in Arc Raiders you have, giant leaping spider bots and literal tanks rolling through. In this one, it's more, you have little squads of AI, but they're holding guns, they're shooting at you. That honestly, a little bit more. This game Marathon, James, had some Helldiver-esque elements to it in the way.
I would agree.
It felt a little bit like fighting the automatons, because you'd have these robots running at you, and then when it comes time to extract, sometimes Arc Raiders and other looters, you might extract, there might not be anybody there, just because there's, if the area's already been cleared out or whatever. This one, I felt that the fact that it's not a reusable exfil, and it does make a signal, it just felt like there was more action trying to extract. It always felt a lot more tense and more rewarding. It kind of reminded me of those first few days playing Helldivers, where that 90 seconds felt like 5 minutes.
2 years. Yeah.
Good Lord. In Marathon, it's maybe 40 seconds. I don't even know if it's a full minute, but you have this time where there's no timer.
It's fucking scary.
Yeah, before those 10 seconds where the circle, materializes and you're
Mhm.
like, I gotta be within the circle, that feels like forever.
Yep.
And I love that. That it really pulls me into the game, into the experience. So I'd had a mix, James. I didn't have a buddy to squad up with because our dear friend Danny was having some issues.
Yep,
He was
that's annoying.
disabled in the game to where he couldn't see or send any friend requests. So we weren't able to join any lobbies together. So I did some squad fill stuff. Nobody was mic'd up in my squads, and it was difficult to do any sort of coordination at that point. And this does feel
Mhm.
like a game where playing with randoms might be a little more difficult. Whereas
Yeah, I
in
would agree.
you can't just like go off on your own. I've got buddies I used to play Fortnite with where, they could be hundreds of meters away and it might not really matter because they're just looting. They're just looking, they're opening chests and being quiet. The way everything is so tightly packed on these maps and
Mhm.
the fact that the other players are definitely going to be as aggressive as the AI, I feel like you really do need to play as a team if you're going to be in squads. So I had a little bit better of experience, honestly,
Mhm.
playing solo, James. I was using Recon and Assassin a lot. So playing solo, you guys that have been around know this about me. I got to play solid snake mode as much as I could. I was
Oh, yeah.
sneaking around all the time. The assassin guy lets you get invisible, and his ultimate is a smoke grenade. So James, I had this
Oh, you just dropped
uh,
that and ran.
Yep. Instead
Yep.
of buying real grenades for solo marches, I would come in, I'd bring 3 smoke grenades. I'd save my ultimate for the end if I could. And then so when it came time to exfil, you get like 12 seconds of invisibility, I think, for your signature. So you go invisible and then you turn it on. And then you've got you just sort of try to wait as long as you can. And once the circle pops up, you've got 3 smoke grenades and your ult, and you just fill the whole
You just
exfil with smoke, and
hiding,
you just
just run
walk
around in
around in a
circles.
circle. So nobody. So if anybody shoots at the center, hopefully it doesn't hit you
Yep,
center
that's fucking
mass or in the
funny.
head. So
That's
I
fucking funny.
found that playing by myself, I got to get a little bit more immersed. And there's also the free loadout Rook, which
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about this one, James, but once you get to level 3, there's a different class in solos where you can play. You're not allowed to do contracts, so you can't really level up your character or anything like that. And you have limited abilities, but you drop in 10 minutes into a round. So a lot of people will have extracted at that point, but also a lot of stuff will have been looted. But it's a free loadout. So you come in, no risk, only reward, and you kind of just pick up the scraps, which I thought was another good option for new players because there's going to be multiple maps. There's going to be even more maps than what we just got to see, at least one
Yeah.
more.
Mhm.
And so I think the fact that they have that, that's a good option. I love that there's different classes of characters. It has that little Overwatch feel. You know how much I like that
Yep.
style of game
Mhm.
too. So a bit of a long-winded answer there, but for those reasons, despite a huge skill level curve, James, I was getting beat up pretty
Huge
bad
skill
by
level
other
curve, yes.
players. I did enjoy my time. How about you?
I would agree. I also enjoyed the skill level curve is real. I mean, that is tough for when I only played it for 3.5 hours. I took me a bit. The one thing that I noticed right away is what drew me to it is I am a Bungie guy, lifer. I was around for the early Halo games when they made them. Um, I was around for Destiny 1, Destiny 2. I played so much Destiny 1. The gunplay is fucking, it's spot on. I don't know what it is about a Bungie first person shooter, but just it feels fucking right. And I can't explain it. If you've played enough of them, you just know. Like those like Halo 3, Halo Reach, Destiny 1, the fucking gunplay in those games is so good. And it absolutely carried over. Like picking up those weapons, I might as well have been playing Halo. Like that's how I felt when I picked those weapons up. Like it completely looks different. The gameplay's everything's different, but I knew exactly where how to run those guns. So like I immediately wasn't I was no good, but I wasn't fucking completely shit. Like when I'm in Arc, I'm terrible. I'm awful in Arc. So the gunplay is the first thing that stuck out. Squads, the 3-man squads is a lot of fun. If you have people you can play with, which obviously Danny had issues, is a lot of fun. A few, like, one of the main issues I had, I think, is just a lack of time with it. Was like figuring out where quests were. I really struggled with that just because I hadn't figured out the quest system and how it worked and how to mark shit correctly. And I didn't know maps, and we'd load into the wrong map at times. And that was an issue for me. I have seen this all over the internet. The UI is a huge debate right now in the universe on Twitter. And I'm here to say I have no problem with the UI. A game wants to be a little different and everybody loses their fucking mind is my thoughts on it. I'm sorry it's not bland and it's a little fucking trickier to figure things out, but like that's kind of the fucking point. Like there's more skill to this game than a lot of them out there. Like there's a lot more skill, a lot more lore. So I'm okay with the UI. Like it took me until the second to last game I was playing on Xbox with a controller. The second to last game to realize that I didn't have to open my inventory to heal myself. I didn't realize you could hit, I think it's up or down on the D-pad. It brings up a revolving. I had no idea. So that's how, like, my own stupidity cost me a lot of times where I would have to fucking go to heal myself. Like I'm an idiot. It's my own fault. Dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb.
But that's what's fun about it. And
yeah, like
just add to that. There's also the smart heal feature, which I think is default set to on. So anybody who didn't get to play, or maybe if you only got a few rounds in like James did, it is set up to where, you have shield health and your actual health.
Yeah.
It's set up. So let's just say up on the D-pad would pull it up the way you were talking about. Down on the D-pad will just automatically use whichever needs the most healing. So if your shield is fully depleted, but you have health, if you have both in your inventory, you just hit down. It'll keep healing your shield, and then eventually you can just keep hitting, and then it'll switch over to heals. And sorry, guys, I keep doing this because that's the animation.
Yeah,
when you heal yourself, like stabbing yourself in the chest with a laser beam. So yeah, there are little I guess ease of access options there. But yeah, I mean, and that's how I felt. I mean, the first time playing Arc, the first few rounds playing this, like my first couple of rounds playing Arc, dude, I thought for sure I was not going to like the game, which is why I think you should, especially if you paid money for a game, to me, you got to put like 3 to 4 hours in it before you even begin.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly. Like there's so much to it. There's like the amount of items and etc. One thing I really liked and this is just a comparison to Arc, is that I don't like, with Arc, I play with a couple of my friends that have played so much that they know what they're doing. I have no idea. Like I said, I just loot fucking every trash can and drawer I can find and grab whatever I see and then run. This game has the auto sell feature, which I loved. Like finish a raid, if you got out, it automatically sold all your junk. And I'm like, okay, like I love that because I don't give a fuck about this shit. I don't want to have to sift through my vault to sell all this trash. So like the auto sell was awesome.
That is true. Yeah, because so much about Arc Raiders is sort of the looting and the hoarding and crafting. Yeah. And so if you're into stuff like that, like if you're a person who, when Fallout 4 came out, you spent more time working on your civilizations or your little towns than you did playing the story, then you're probably playing Arc Raiders with me. If you ran around and just played the game and shot things, you're going to be over on the marathon train with James. And it's even as far as the quality of the loot, James, this is something that I'll end up talking about when I do a more direct comparison of the two. But with Arc Raiders, the loot, it can be found in areas. Of course, you can team up with people, take down the bigger creatures and get really good loot from there. But at least in my experience in Marathon, you wanted anything worth taking back with you, you had to take someone down. It didn't have to be another player. It had to at least be one of the mini bosses of the UESC, like the guys who shot grenades at you. They always came equipped with good weapons, but you had to get involved in combat to take back anything better than credits and data cards.
So I do have
really.
one story that goes against that. I want to come back to the AI enemies too, because I think they're fantastic. We had a raid. We're late in the raid. We found a loot cache. We found one, and it had like 4 or 5 chests. And we were it's the only purple weapon I saw while playing. We found a purple sniper rifle. We were pulling like real weapons out. So
wow.
like we found one after running. I don't know exactly how we found it, but we did. The problem was there was 5 minutes left, in the amount of fucking enemies falling on our head at that point as we were trying to get out. We didn't get out alive, and it was so fucking heartbreaking. We had such good shit, but it was all hell had broken. The longer you're in them fucking raids, the more they come down, and we didn't get out. But so like, to just counteract just a little bit, is that it is absolutely there. We found a loot cache. I don't know what else is there, but like, yes, the majority, like you're saying, like if you take down other enemies, like, or other runners or the bigger enemies, you do find it. That's probably the quicker way. We found it a different way, and that was a really fun moment where I don't know where the fuck we were, how we ended up. We were in some buildings. We were up on like the 2nd or 3rd floor, and all of a sudden it was fucking just 4 chests, 5 chests right in front of us. But we were trying to get out. We just couldn't get out. Talking about the AI enemies are fucking assholes. This isn't basic level automaton. Like, you compared them to the automatons and Helldivers, which is a good one. Like the harder ones, like the basic level ones, no. Even like Arc, like it's not really comparable to them, because the Arc, the flying things and stuff like that, the ones that I hate them, like you deal with the most, aren't this problem. They call people in, they fucking come at you. They are probably a little overpowered, to say that I would say, but fuck, they suck. And Kev, I don't know if you saw the video. Have you seen the video online of a proximity chat where they found like the AI? I don't know what, are they I can't remember what they're called. What's the military? You said it earlier.
The UESC.
UESC. Did you see the video
United
of them
Earth Space Council
faking proximity chat? They were like asking if somebody wanted to loot up with them or hook up with them. It was an AI. It was them talking over proximity chat to bait somebody in.
Oh,
let me see if I can. I don't think I saved the video. It was I couldn't believe it.
That is incredible.
UEAC, is that right?
UESC.
UESC. Proximity chat.
And
it was crazy.
Yeah. While you're pulling that up, I will add to my thoughts on that. I do really enjoy that. That was one of the other aspects to this game that I was looking forward to, that I knew would be different from Arc, was that, okay, at least in this one, the AI is still going to be on 2 legs and shooting guns and stuff at me. I was like, that'll be a nice experience, a little bit different, or I guess a little bit more of the same, honestly, because Arc Raiders is really the one that's different. But I've been playing so much of that. I was like, man, I am looking forward to having something with a gun just shooting at me again, other than other players. And I think there's a lot of fun aspects with them, like how when you go into certain buildings, you have to close the windows, otherwise they'll see you through the windows and start shooting at you. They still do like some dumb stuff, like if you can get them into a hallway, like you can kind of
funnel them a little bit.
You can funnel them. They're I'm sure some of that stuff will get worked out over time. I also noticed that like other versions of this game, they have there was only a low and medium difficulty available for the alpha, so it's not like we actually got to see the hardest versions.
Yeah, no, there was stuff they held out. I did find this clip, so I'm gonna pull this up for you.
This is crazy. I did not know that I had to deal with this.
Yeah, so they were talking about this. I'll make this full screen here. Hopefully you can hear this.
And while you have that pulled up, I guess before you play it, you talked about the feel of the game and just how, which is the gunplay is so satisfying, the way even just the cursor signals to you that you've done damage, but also there's going to be so much customization with the weapon skins.
Incredible amounts.
Played
Yeah.
a couple of hours and already started to unlock stuff. I love that. And I'll save some of this, but the sponsored kits give you the opportunity, if you exfil successfully with a sponsored kit with using the different classes, you unlock a new skin for that character every time you do it. There's stickers for the guns, all this stuff, man. It's got that part, I feel like, really well done. Like, the game looks great, and
Yeah,
it
they did a lot of work.
feels
Yeah.
good to play. It really does.
Yeah, regardless, it feels good. That's what's fun here. Or like at the base level, it's fun to play. It feels good. It's fun to play. It's not broken. Here, this is an 18-second clip that was posted. So what you're gonna hear is actual AI enemies talking over proximity chat.
Ooh, a fellow assassin. I like this.
Did you hear that? Could you hear it?
Looking for crew. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. At least it still sounds very much like the bots.
It still sounds like it, but if you get the wrong person, like it can fuck you up. Like it would be crazy. It can get you.
That
Even to
is a lot
have
of
that
fun.
is really cool. Like they put some fucking work in.
And that's another thing. There is a lot of love into this, man. The story in this game is pretty incredible. I had spent part of my weekend traveling, so when I did, I was listening to hour-long lore videos.
I am very
about
excited to go
previous
down those rabbit
games.
holes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Previous
There's a
marathon, like I like the cutscenes. I like the story cutscenes. Like I was pretty interested in that. So I'm really excited to go down that rabbit hole like you did.
and having the different factions as well, you know.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a game that gives you the storyline a little bit over time. But yeah, James, you're going to have a ton of fun just getting caught up with where the story is now. At least I did. I thought it got me more invested, and I think it makes it easier to play these kind of games that do, by their very nature, start to get repetitive if they don't have good quests that allow you to advance the story and you're not fully immersed into the world. It starts to get pretty repetitive. That was always my issue with Badlands, and that wasn't even a multiplayer game.
Kind of
but just
probably my issue with looter shooters to begin with, right? Is like I do all this work like to get these cool guns, and then I go in and it just takes one whoops and I lose everything, right? That's kind of my issue with games like this is I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I guess it's probably why I don't love Ark, is like I collect all these things. Like there's a gun in the game that if you mod it, you put a mod on it, it's essentially the battle rifle from Halo. 3-burst battle rifle. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's what I want. I can already see me if I get that and lose it, I'm gonna be fucking madder than hell. So like it's an interesting dynamic. Like I don't love it, that dynamic. Something I'm interested to see though is there are like they call them raids right now, right? So this isn't the right term, but in Destiny, you remember the Vault of Glass, like an actual raid? They exist. They have like an end game raid type deal somewhere, somehow built. Like they haven't really talked about it much, but it does exist. And if you're an original Destiny guy, the Vault of Glass, when it first was announced and you first played it, Vault of Glass was fucking an incredible moment in that game. And I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing how they implement that as how is that going to play out? Like with all these people, like where you can still fight each other. Like it's not just PvE. How's that going to work out? How do you make that work and I'm sure like it's kind of similar to the matriarch in Ark, right? Where people work together to get it, but then some people wait around and try to fucking steal it at the end, steal the cores and et cetera. Like I'm interested to see how they handle all that.
That is a good point. And interestingly enough, Arc just did an event that I think helps address some of that stuff. So I could see Marathon potentially doing something along these lines. Arc just did an event where you would get merit points, and the only way to get merit points was to damage Arc, get a kill, get credit for the kill of an Arc, or assist in the it getting destroyed. So it was something where it wasn't like there was a penalty. If you still wanted to be a PvP guy, you could still go just live your life. But if you wanted to unlock all this cool stuff that they were willing to give you for
You
free,
had
the
to.
only way to do it was to play the game in a way that said, I'm only really going to attack the AI enemies. I'm not going to, and instead of third partying, because a lot of people, their first nature, they see another team in a fight with the Ark and they think, well, I'm going to just let this play out. And if anything, I might help the Ark because then I can, the Ark will be weakened. I can finish them off and I got some loot down there. But when the only incentive really is to just attack the AI, then I think you can set up events. Like you won't be able to change the whole dynamic of the game. Like you won't be able to get people to do that for a long period of time. But if it's
Yeah.
a week-long event or a mini season and you have incentives behind it, I do think you could set up events like that where it's like, hey guys, this is going to be a PvE thing. And if you don't want to do it, we still have all the other maps
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
can play at
Then they're
any
still open.
time.
Yeah.
And
Still
then
go work there.
inevitably 3% of the game's audience will cry as if
Yeah. They ruined the game.
their
Broke
pet
it.
dog is being taken from them. They're like, no, you can't allow other people to play a different mode on this game. That's not the way I want to play the
Yeah.
game.
Jesus Christ. You're
This
so
game sucks now.
The last thing I do want to comment on is I wish I'd got to play more because it seems the game changes a lot too once you start to get better weapons, more shields. Like I only ever had one extra shield. Never really played with anything other than probably maybe a blue weapon, maybe a random one, but mostly green or shittier. We had we started off, I think we got out twice, and then we had a run of like 5 in a row where we fucking AI got us or runners got us or we didn't get out with the loot cache, right? And then we finished on a win or two. So we didn't end up keeping much good stuff, but I've read and seen a lot of people were like, once you start to get better weapons, it really helps. I also noticed that there was one where we got mowed down by a group of runners that had way better weapons than us. And it was just like bang, bang, bang. Like, well, that was quick and painless for them.
Yeah, nothing we could do about that. And to add to that, James, I think you're right. And another thing that this game has going for it is that because there are multiple factions and they can offer you multiple contracts at the same time. Now one of the downsides is that you can only do one at a time, which
Yeah,
that
I
is
wish
a
you
point
I
for
wish
our
you could do a
creators.
main one and either two, like if you can't do two main ones, put the like side one in, like that little like gray one that was on the side, like let you have two actives. Like
Yeah,
at
let me
least
do
that,
that.
right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's just generic. That one's usually just
Yeah.
like damage
That's like
enemies and use
damage or
attackers. Like I
kill
could do
or
that.
yeah. There was one,
Yeah.
I think ours at the time was one of the main one we were doing was the first class, and it was kill X amount of the AI enemies. And then the side quest one was also like kill 10 of them or something. Like we'd have clicked them both through if we could have loaded them up at the same time.
Yeah, and then you could have completed them at the same time. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
part I didn't
I would like
love,
that
but
fixed.
to give the game some of its points back immediately, the more of those factions that you have contracts available to, as you can upgrade your level, but you also upgrade your reputation level
Yes.
with that group, and then they start to give you discounts. And at certain
I didn't
levels,
get
you
to that
get
point. Okay.
rewards that are just free guns. So it's stuff that's
So
already in the armory.
you
can
kind of
buy it.
almost get to that point where like, hey, I've got this gun. If I wipe out, like I can just go right back and rebuy it, which I'm okay.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
and during the alpha, they were doing those sponsored kits a lot. I don't know if that'll be
Yeah.
something. I imagine you'll still get a couple of free kits every day, but I imagine that they won't be infinite like they were in the beta. But it allows you so early on. Eventually, I started to figure out how to play. Like I said, with the assassin, I got a good method, and I started to exfil successfully every once in a while. But early on, I was never making it out. And
Yeah.
so, but I continued to upgrade my equipment because I would at least try to complete my quest before I got killed.
Yeah.
And then by that way, I started to unlock better things.
Yeah.
So I was able to go from all gray weapons to all green weapons, basically never looting any of them. You know, I think I only truly looted one of those weapons. The rest of them I earned either through a discount in the armory or through just claiming a quest that I did for one of the factions. So I like that a lot too. The fact that there are competing factions and you'll have a little more flexibility on how you go about doing things and which team, because they're all kind of nefarious companies. So you got to decide which ones you want to work for. I'm pretty sure, much like our beloved Helldivers, James, I think we might be the bad guys in Marathon. I'm not 100% yet, but I don't know that we're playing as the good guys, and I'm cool with that.
I agree. I think you may be onto something there. And I'm okay with that. I'm again, the story. I'm excited for the story. I think they put a lot of work into it, so that's something I am looking forward to diving more into. I am going to be buying it. I think that's the thing I'll say at the end. Like, you want my stamp on it. I'm going to buy it when it comes out. $40, like, I'm in. Like, I like that it's a premium game. I'm not against free to play. I just think there's a little bit when you're willing to put money down. I think there's more to it. I think they expect more, and by the way, it won't go the way of High Guard and just evaporate from the universe.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
So I'm in. I am going to buy it.
I agree, and I like this. I think maybe this is the metric we use in these instances, where we get a shot at an early look at a game. I too will be buying this. Now, I think it only comes out in a few days.
I think the 5th. I think it comes out this weekend, which I'm also on the road for the next week and a half, so I won't be playing.
I'm not
even sure if I haven't decided if I'm taking my PlayStation with me or not. So even if I do, I'll get some time in, but if not, it's going to be 2 weeks before I even get a shot to play anyway. So
exactly. It's like it might be closer to the end of the month before I pull the trigger on buying it, just because if I know I'm not going to play it, it might take me a little while to finalize that transaction. However, I will be buying it. I think it's going to be worth playing. And James, I'm going to say this for you. Now, this episode is not sponsored, gang. All right. I know we've been very friendly to this game. Maybe your shill senses are going off. I swear that is not the case. But James mentioned being a big fan of Destiny. Our beloved Danny, also big Destiny guy. So I wanted to mention to you, in case you didn't see it, even though the game comes out in 3 days as of recording, if you pre-order, you get some free stuff. It's mainly just like weapon skins, but there's also some free Destiny stuff you get. So you might want to look into that, because the Destiny bonus, it wasn't any, like, I looked at it and thought, well, all I'm getting is 3 or 4 weapon skins. That is not worth me committing the money early. Like, there's no point in pre-ordering. But if I were a Destiny player, that might make it worth it. So you might want to look into it, James.
I might just pre-order. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into that. So thank you guys for joining us. This has been the Weekly Dweeb. Please like, subscribe, and share as we work our way towards 200 followers, and hit that notification bell. Kev likes that. That's his favorite thing. So thank you guys for joining us. Until next time.